Hola mi gente, MsMalcolmHughes back with not a book review, something a little different this time. This time I want to share 7 books that I will always own. I saw this trending and I thought it was a really cool topic and I wanted to just hop on. I actually saw it trending for perfume, but I thought why not? We could definitely do it for books. So let's just jump right into it, shall we? The first book will be, and if you know me, you know this already, this is not a surprise. I am not named MsMalcolmHughes for no reason. It is the autobiography of Malcolm X. This will always be in my collection. This is a book that I love and adore. It introduced me to so many things, and my life is different in so many ways because of this book. Not only did I get a more like holistic and fuller understanding of who El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, or Malcolm X, whose name had been changed at the time of his assassination, was, but also just his ideology on Black people, Islam. I learned so much from this book and I'm just forever grateful. Another book is Sula by Toni Morrison. I know many people have mixed emotions about this book, but for me, this book taught me so much about what it means to be independent, to live life on your own terms, and to really be fearless and to own that and whatever comes with it. So Sula by my literary GOAT, Toni Morrison, is a book that I will always have in my collection. Another book is Salt by Nayyirah Waheed. This book, I've talked about it. I will leave my review above, and also for the books here that I've reviewed, I will link them in the description below. This book for me is one that is just profound. It's the only book I've ever compared to a religious text. It's just a book that you can read over and over again, learn something new about yourself each time. It really delves into and analyzes our relationship with ourselves, our relationship with others, and the trauma and healing that can be done in a lifetime. This is just an amazing book that I cannot recommend everyone read enough times. Well, book number 4 is Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. This book for me, I just did a review of it recently. It just grabs my emotions every time, and it's just such a great analysis and look at not only race and society, but the beauty of Black culture and the pain of it, but what we've been able to create and sustain and why we still continue to struggle and fight. I just think this book is a book that everyone should read. I always say it's a book that will knock you out of your slumber if you are asleep, and it's just worth your while. And also, Coates is just a magnificent writer. He really has a handle of the English language and he writes masterfully. So at the very least, you will enjoy that. Book number 5 is Difficult Women by Roxane Gay. This should come as no surprise. Everyone knows Roxane Gay is one of my literary baes. I think that she is great. I think that her writing is just prolific. I think that it is sometimes challenging because she often writes about trauma, and it's just so jarring sometimes that you have to put it down and come back to it, but you always come back because it's always worth the read. She's just so great. And this book, like the title says, Difficult Women, is a series of short stories that focuses on different type of women, and it's just amazing in the ways that it challenges and covers the vastness of women. It's just profound. Book number 6 is The Warmth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkerson. This book for me, I've never seen narrative nonfiction done better. This book deserves every accolade it's won. As someone who is from Chicago, my shirt says Chicago, I learned so much about the neighborhood that I grew up in that I just didn't know. This and The Case for Reparations by Ta-Nehisi Coates were 2 books that just taught me, well, 2 works because the other one is an essay, that taught me so much about the neighborhood that I grew up in, really caused me to think differently. Even though I had thought about it and pondered it so much and had talked to my elders about it, it just even gave me a deeper, richer perspective of the Great Migration and what it meant and what was sacrificed and what was gained. I think that this is mandatory reading for everyone. Everyone. I also think that it's mandatory reading and should be taught in all schools. That's how highly I think of this book. The final book, book number 7, that I will always have in my collection is Zami by Audre Lorde. I think in this work, Audre Lorde challenges so much, even in just discussing the analysis of finding herself and the discovery of that and going back to her roots and going out into the world and traveling internationally, and what does all of this mean in the coming of yourself. So this is even called a biomythography, right? So Audre Lorde had even created a genre just by creating this work. It's so good. It's so relevant today, right? Of all the issues that are still being addressed, right? All the challenges that we're still facing. And for anyone, whether you're queer identified or not, I think this is mandatory reading in the sense of self-exploration, identity, and then where will you stand in your political knowingness, right? And how that impacts the way in which you move within the world and the way in which you challenge oppression and wrongness that you see in the world. Great book. I think that everyone should read it. So that's it for me, y'all. Really quick video. Just wanted to share 7 books that I will always have in my collection. Would love to see other folks do the same. Yeah, I'm always curious, like, what books are other people reading? What has impacted you most deeply, right? What has held such value in your life that you always want to have it, always want to own it, and always recommend it to others? So let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, until next time, I am MsMalcolmHughes, one who believes that books are sometimes better than people. And until next time, y'all, continue to stay safe and be kind to each other. Odabo. Also, for those of you inquiring, I do still have buttons, my Ms. Malcolm Hughes pins, and the details on how to get those are below.